Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games, So Little Time. Today we're going to be playing Radlands. I'll explain the game, how to play, and then I'll also do a quick playthrough for 2 players, even though it's just by myself. Just see me as a schizophrenic person. Okay? Oh, sorry. That's already me bumping the camera from the start. Well, some things always happen, right? So, basically, in Radlands, we are 2 tribes. One person is one tribe, one person is the other. And we're attacking each other because there can only be one badass tribe and the other one cannot be that, obviously. So, what happens in the game exactly? First of all, you should know the resource is water, okay? Every turn you'll have 3 water, it will replenish. Aside from the first turn, whoever is first player will have 1 to spend, and then every subsequent turn, everybody will always have 3. Okay, so first player 1, second player 3, and then 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3 from there on out. You can also see there are 3 camps here, okay? And there's also a camp deck. Now, we are not going to use the camp deck whatsoever because the manual suggests to start that one person starts with the reactor, the cannon, and the victory totem, while the other one starts with the supply depot, the railgun, and the garage. All right, so aside from that, people also start with the water silo and raiders. So on your turn, there are basically 3 turn sequences. First of all, you start with events. Now, raiders, for example, is an event. You can see that because the border is black and yellow, all right? And also has a little bomb icon. Now, in the main deck, there are events. There are also people and also punks. These are these guys, okay? All right, so let's say we have an event, the Raiders, okay? It has number 2. That means when it gets activated, it will be here on place number 2. How does it get activated? Well, you get activated when you have a card that has this icon with a cost most of the time. For example, we have the victory totem. If you spend 2 water, you can activate your Raider card. Now, what does that mean? At the moment, the Raider card is here. So if you activate it, you will put it in your event row. But if it's already here and you pay water to activate it, it will move up 1 spot because number 2 move up to 1. Okay, and then next round, when it's my turn, the first thing in the turn sequence is resolve your event in the first space and advance the rest. So this would then happen and then return back to here. So this is basically your only card that is like a consistent damage dealer if you're able to get it out a lot. Now, you might have noticed this costs 2, and when you look at the garage for the opponent, they only have to pay 1. So they will be able to get their raiders out much more than this person. And what does it actually do? Now, of course, you have the card name, you have the card border to signify it's an event, you have the icon to signify it's a raider event, and then, of course, you have the action that happens once it gets resolved. This little token, this icon, actually means damage. It means rotate an unprotected person or camp sideways. So these are your camps, right? So if it gets damaged, you do it like this, okay? Now this card is an exception because the rule is rotate an unprotected person or camp, unprotected. It is unprotected if there is nothing in front of it. So if you have like 3 cards like this, that means all these camps are protected. Now the raiders, they don't care because it says one of the opponent's camps of their choice. It says nothing about being protected or unprotected or whatever. So that person has to damage it. So if they activate their raiders, goes all the way back to 1 and gets resolved, even though I'm fully protected here, I would have to turn one of my camps sideways. Then it's damaged. If it were to get damaged again, it doesn't go like this. No, it gets destroyed. You just flip it over, and now it is just a steaming pile of rubble, or smoking pile of rubble. So that would be done then. All right. So that's how that works. Okay. So those are the events. There are many events in the deck. Just let's see what's in here. Actually, we have these 3 guys. Let me just quickly check if there's another example of an event. For example, Uprising. All right. Uprising also has the number 2. Okay. In that case, that would mean that you'll be able to place 3 punks somewhere. What is nice is, for example, when you do this, you get to place one. if you place any card, it's not like you have to place it here. You can actually move in the column. You can move one up and put it here if you wanted to, or the other way around. That's up to you. Okay, but it's not like table sticks. You can't do like this, okay? Not like this. But in the column, you can decide what to do. Now, you might have already wondered, why is there like the cover here? Because if I put it down, you can see the shimmer is too much, the light. So that's why it's like that. All right, back to the game. So this is the event card. You can also junk an event card. You can see the raiders are special. They don't have a junk icon. What does junk mean? That means you don't use anything on the card, but you just do the top left action. In this case, that means damage a person. Of course, a person of the opponent, okay? Also, you see here, number 1, this means it costs 1 water to play this card, okay? So if I get rid of it, junk it means I discard it, junk, right? Then I get to do damage one of the people here. So let's say this guy is here, okay? Let's say he gets damaged, then he would be like this, okay? And that means he cannot use any action he has next round because damaged cards are not seen as ready, okay? All right, so let's say I have these 2 cards in my hand and let's see what they do. This is a looter, costs you 1 water to play him, all right? If you junk him, you will get 1 water. If you get 1 water like this way, you will take a black water token and put it here. You now have 4 water, okay, to be spent during your turn. You can go up to 6, 9, any amount of water. Like if you're hoarding tons of cards with this and then all discard them, you can have tons and tons and tons of water. But at the end of your turn, all your water goes away, okay? So before I continue with this, there are 2 actions you can do with your remaining water. You can spend 2 water to draw a card, or if you have like 1 water left, you can spend it to get a water silo, put it in your hand. So the water silo, what does that do? It just says spend 1 to add this card to your hand. And when you junk it, you can get water and it goes back to here. So you can keep using it. Now, what is the advantage of spending 1 water and then being able to discard it later? This card can stay in your hand for as long as you want and it'll always come back. So if you would save these 2, right, for the next round, suddenly you can have up to 5 water in one go. Then you can play one of the really expensive cards. So that's the water silo. So water silo is explained, the raiders are explained. So what does the looter do? Once again, you pay 1 water to place him. So you place him anywhere you want, okay? Let's say here, put 1 water on, because that means he is not ready. The turn that you play the card is not ready unless the card specifies it, which it doesn't. This one, however, says it. This card enters play ready. It's an exception. Now, next round, of course, he would be ready. And then I can do his ability, which means spend 2 water. And then damage. If this damage hits a camp, it has the purple symbol. That means draw a card. Okay? So, of course, after I played this, the other camp is going to try to destroy this guy, so I can't use my ability. And it's also a quite expensive ability, but it is damaging, of course. So then we have the rescue team. Once again, you pay 1 water to play it, or if you don't want to play it, you can just junk it and damage a person. It can only be a person because it's a skull. So it's injuring, you're injuring a person. Now, it enters card, this card enters play ready. So it says return 1 of your people to your hand. Punks are people. So even if like this, you'll put it back in your hand like this. So you can't flip it over. It will remain a punk, okay? You can't just suddenly decide like, oh, now it's this guy. No. So basically return 1 of your people to your hand. Like if he was injured, you could place him, spend 0 water, and then take him back in your hand, and then later on play him again as healed. Now, 0 water, of course, you need to signify that you've used this card because it can get a bit confusing if you have many cards. What do? You take a token, even though it was free, take a token, flip it over, and shows this ability has been used, okay? And then next round, at the end of your round, you just remove it again so you can use it again next turn, all right? So that's what these 2 do, for example. There are a bunch of other tokens. Let's say icons. Let's say this one was injured and this one is normal, right? You have the nuke, which means destroy. Destroyed people are discarded, camps are flipped, punks are placed on the deck. So it means if you have anything that with this, it just immediately destroys it. It doesn't damage it or flip, it's just gone, all right? If you hit a camp, it's immediately flipped over. It's just, boom, it's a nuke, all right? For example, the reactor here, which is crazy, costs 2 water only, but this card and all people, so my people and their people, will be wiped away. But of course, it means I lose one of my camps, and if I lose all my camps, I lose the game. So it's, yeah, it's, I have no idea when to use that at the moment, but it's very powerful. So damage, I already said, rotate an unprotected person or camp sideways. If it's already rotated, destroy it. Injure, same as damage, but only hits people. And then restore, okay? If it's restore, you can rotate one of your damaged cards upright. So it could be a person, it could be a camp. Now, if it's a person, when you rotate it, it's not ready. Oops, so you put this on top of the person, okay? Even though you healed it, it doesn't immediately, it's not able to fight. If a camp is damaged, you can still use it. If a person is damaged, you cannot use the action, okay? Camps, you can always use the action. You're just slightly damaged, I guess. Then draw a card, we already said that. Gain an extra water, we already said that. Gain punk, then I think I gave that example too. And just put it here, all right? With the event there. And then raid, play or advance your raiders event. Okay, so that would be either activating it here or moving it forward or resolving it if it's already there. Okay, so those are the effect icons. So once again, how does a turn go? Let's say this is my turn at the moment, right? I start my turn. Let's say the raider card is here. So first step is event. Resolve your event in the first space, nothing here, and advance the rest. So this one goes up. Then refill to 3 water, okay, and draw a card. So I draw a card. Up. I have a wounded soldier, okay. If I get rid of it, I can injure one of his people. I can play it for 1 water, but it will not be ready. If later on, in a later turn, if it is here and ready, I could spend 1 water to damage something that is unprotected. Also, when this card enters play, draw a card, then damage this card because he's wounded. So if I were to play him, I pay 1 water, right? But then he immediately gets damaged and I draw a card. So let's say I do that because one of the options, play a card. So now I have rescue team. I already have 1 rescue team, which is actually really nice. So I could literally, for example, do this action, right? And use it. So now I've used this action, okay? I can return a card back to my, this would have been like this. I can return one of my people back to my hand. So I take the wounded soldier back. So this is discarded, all right? And then I could actually play the wounded soldier again for 1 water, damage it, draw another card like this. And then we have the repair bot. When this card enters play, heal 1, which is even more perfect. I spend 1 water, okay? So I play him, right? Spend 1, actually I want him protected. So the looter can protect him. So I put him here, okay? When this card enters play, flip a card. So up. But he is not ready because he was healed and played this round. Then I can technically, I cannot play him because I have no water anymore. But I could discard him, junk him to do damage. Now I damage him because it's a skull. I can only damage a person. Okay. What else could I have done? I could have taken a water silo if I had water left, take it in my hand. Okay, that's something else that I could have done. I could have spent 2 water to draw a card, but I spent my water on other things. Okay, and are there any other abilities? I could have spent 2 water to blow everything up. I could have spent 1 water to damage this card and then damage something over there, right? I could have spent 2 water to damage a person. I could have spent 2 water to actually activate the raiders and make them damage one of their bases. Did I do the best turn possible? No, I didn't, but I'm just showing you what the option is. And then very important at all times, is my card ready? When can I use my card? So a face-up card camp, like I said, is always ready, okay? Unless you've already used the abilities. For example, if I shot the cannon, then I would put this on here because it's used, okay? For people, a person is ready unless, so this means it's not ready when this happens, okay? If it was played this turn, so if it was put down, right, then it's not ready. It was restored this turn, so this one was restored, and also not ready. One of its abilities was used this turn, so this one is not ready. It is damaged. So let's say this one was damaged, then it would also not be ready, okay? All right, so then at the end of my turn, all the stuff just comes back. So hup, hup, hup. No, sorry, this goes here. This goes here. Sorry, this goes here. This goes here. And then it's the other player's turn. All right, this one is still injured. Everything else just stays the way it was. And of course, they will go through the same steps. Resolve their event, but they don't have any events. Refill to 3 water, draw a card, and then either play a card, draw another card for 2 water, junk a card for the effect, take a water silo, or use an ability or abilities on cards that they have. For example, had this guy been ready, his ability is free, destroy one of your people, then damage, okay? Now you can see sometimes the damage icons are smaller or bigger. I didn't find anything in the rulebook, but I'm pretty sure small means that you're damaging yourself, and then big means you damage the enemy. Because when it's about the enemy, it's always big, all right? And with yourself, it seems to be small. All right, so that's basically it. That is how you play the game. The first person who loses all their bases loses. The game is supposed to be like 30 to 45 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. 20 to 40 minutes, actually 20 to 40 minutes. So it is not very long. So it's normal that it flows very quickly. So I'm going to take these cards all back. I'm going to reshuffle the deck, and then let's have a quick playthrough, shall we? All right, let's see who starts the game. You're supposed to flip it up, and if it's the water, then I start, so this person. If it's minus, then I start, so that person. That's a stupid joke, I know. Oh, poof. All right, so this side starts. Always handy. All right, so first turn, I only get 1 water because I'm first player. Okay, so I resolve my... Oh yeah, something that I have forgotten to say in the rules. At the start of your turn, first game, you will draw the amount of cards that are on the camp cards. So 1, 2, 3. So those 3, okay? So I'll put a line in the first part to signify that number. But anyway, so this person gets to draw 3 cards. Later on, that person will draw 2 because 2, 0, 0. So the more powerful your camps are, the less amount of cards that you can draw, actually. All right, so the cards that I have drawn are these. We have Napalm, which costs 2 water. And then it starts at space 1 in the event deck. All enemies in 1 column are destroyed. Now, enemies are not camps, they're people. So if I were to play it now, it'd be useless because there's no enemies. Gunner, 1 water to place, but he will not be active. But if I later on spend 2 water, all unprotected enemies, once again people, will be damaged. And then the Doomsayer costs 1 water. And later on, I can spend 1 water if an opponent has an event in play, damage. So an event is the Raiders. He has a garage, which makes it very cheap for him to put out Raiders. So if he puts out Raiders and I have the Doomsayer, then I could potentially take advantage of that later on. Also, when this card enters play, you may move all the opponent's events back 1 step. So if I use that now, I will lose that bottom effect. So the question is, do I want to use it now or not? Because I think I won't. I only have 1 water anyway. I could put out the Gunner to put some pressure on that person, on the other person. So, And also I could discard him, draw a card, but he's too powerful. This would allow me to straighten something, but nothing is bent. I could spend 1 water to damage this and then damage that, but then he could immediately damage that one and destroy it, so that would be stupid. I think I'm just going to go for the water silo and have like a bigger turn next turn. So I'm going to spend 1 water here, get the water silo, and then be done with it for now. I'll put it over here. All right, reset it. This comes back. This will be 3 next time. All right, that person's turn. Actually, I made a mistake already. I draw 3 cards, right? I'm supposed to draw a 4th one because that's what happens every turn. So maybe this will change my turn. So let's just redo that real quick. So don't forget, in the first round, you get your cards, but then you go through the turn sequence. Second one is refill the 3 water and draw a card. So the card I drew is Holdout. If I get rid of it, I activate the Raiders. I can spend 2 water, and then it will not be active. But later on, I can spend 1 water to damage. And if you have a destroyed camp, you can play this card in that column for 0 water. So, okay, then it becomes free to play. But in this case, I'm going to discard it, and I'm going to activate. I'm going to junk it to activate my Raiders. They go in the second spot. And then I'm going to do what I did before, spend 1 water to get the silo, and that's it. So next turn, my Raiders, they will automatically move up 1 spot. Okay, so that's done. I can put all my water back. There we go. And then it's the other person's turn. They can draw 2 cards. Okay, they do their events, but there's nothing there. Refill to 3 water and draw a card. So 2 cards and then a 3rd. And then they can do their actions. So they have 3 water, so they have options. First of all, they have an event, Radiation. They can junk it to activate their Raiders, or they can spend 2 water to place Radiation that will come here, and it would injure all the people. But at this moment, I have no people here, so once again, that would be pretty useless. But he could spend 1 water to activate his Raiders, then junk this card to move Raiders to the first position, which would allow them next turn to potentially attack me. Of course, they don't know I have a Doomsayer, so I'm going to pretend like, you know, they don't know, obviously. Then there's a Scout. Get rid of him, you get water. Okay, you get rid of him, you get water. If you spend 1, then you play him, but he will not be active. But later on, you can spend 1 to activate the Raiders, which is really good with this one, with the Garage. You can spend 2 water to activate and move the Raiders, or move them 2 spots, which is pretty crazy. Then with the Muse, you can discard her or play to injure a person, but there's no one here. Spend 1 water, and then she gives you a water every round. I think this person will just play these 2, all right? So the Scouts will go in front of the Garage, all right? And then the Muse will go in front of the Cannon. So they both cost 1 water. So hop and hop. And then I think I'll hold on to Radiation, right? Hold on to Radiation and spend 1 water to activate the Raiders. So they'll go to water discard, and the Raiders will go here. So both people are sending out raiding parties. So I'll keep the cards here, and I'll keep this person's cards here, I guess. All right, so they're done. The water goes back to where it starts. There we go. And that is it. This person's turn again. So resolve your event in the first space, nothing there. Advance the rest. So this one goes up to the top now. Refill to 3 water and draw a card. Okay, so the card I drew is Zito Khan. So I can get rid of him and get a punk, which would be place 1 of these cards just face up anywhere, but you cannot look at the bottom, okay? So Zito Khan. If I play him, it costs 3 water though. If I play him later on, I can activate him, draw 3 cards, and then discard 3 cards. But of course, the 3 cards are added to your hand, and then you get rid of 3. And also, the first event you play each turn immediately happens, which is super powerful. Like, for example, you could play Napalm. You don't have to wait. It immediately wipes everybody clean. So this guy is super powerful, but of course, super expensive. But I have 3 water. I get rid of the water silo, which I'm going to do, which increases my water to 4 to give myself more options. Now, the Doomsayer is now useful because when it enters in play, you can move the opponent's events back one spot, which I'm going to do for sure. So I'm going to put it here, okay, for 1 water. So, up, and then move all the opponent's events 1 back, up. Now, if the opponent had 3 cards, this would be useless because you cannot move it higher than 3, so that would not happen. Okay, so that's pushed that one up, the Doomsayer. Love the art. All right, so then I have 3 left. I could spend it on Zito Khan. Or I could, okay, Napalm has a bomb with 1, right? And 1 is occupied. I could still play it, but then it would go into 2nd position, okay? So, I also kind of want to take care of these 2, but I don't really have a way to do it. I can spend 2 water to damage someone. Like I could stop him from getting to activate a scout, or I could injure his muse to stop him from getting water. But 2 is kind of expensive. Or I could spend 3, but then I would do this, damage this one and damage something, and then spend 2 to just immediately kill his muse. Actually, I'm going to do that. I really don't want his muse to activate. I don't want him to get extra water every time. So I spend 2 water to damage her. Then I spend another water for this, so to flip it over, I damage it, and she is removed from his area. All right. Now, of course, now I have to make sure he doesn't attack this, otherwise it'll be destroyed. So that's the end of my turn. This goes back. These 3 go back. Okay. His turn. So resolve the event. So the event comes down 1 spot. There you go. Then refill to 3 water and draw a card. So the other person still had radiation, and then I'll get Pyromaniac. If I get rid of it, I can injure 1 person. But if I spend 1 water, I can bring him out, and then spend another water later on to damage an unprotected camp. So for example, it would be this one because it's not protected, or this one because it's not protected. It's okay. It's not crazy. But I think I want to damage the Doomsayer so he cannot use it. Because as long as the opponent has in play, he can actually damage me quite easily. So we still have other options as well, of course. You can spend 2 water to actually move this forward and then activate it to damage one of his camps, which is really nice. I think that's what we're going to do. First, spend 1 water to activate him for this. So this moves down. So this means the ability is being used. And then spend 1 water there as well to activate it again. And now this goes back to the raiders over there. And now I, as this player, can choose which one I damage. So I'm going to damage the reactor. So remember, even if a card is damaged, you can still use its abilities, okay? The camp, not the people. So I spend 2 water, I still have 1 water left, and I'm going to bring out the Pyromaniac to protect my railgun. Yeah, so he comes out, that's it. And then I still have this. I'm going to discard it. I'm going to discard it to activate my raiders again, because I like the raider combo with the card that came out. So it's there again. All right, back to moving everything back, clean up, up. There you go. This person activates their event. So this goes back here. And then that person gets to choose which one they damage. They're going to damage their railgun because it's protected now anyway. So chances of me hitting that are very low since I have to kill him first. All right, then refill to 3 water and draw a card. So I have 3 water, I draw a card. So I didn't hit the Doomsayer, right? Because I brought out the Pyromaniac, so I didn't shoot the Doomsayer. So the Doomsayer will be able to attack, and I drew the Cult Leader. Destroy one of your people, then do damage. All right, So I could potentially damage this one because it's unprotected. And I can use this one first because the opponent has an event in play. Actually, it was stupid of this person to put it in play because it maybe not stupid, but it allows this person to do a double whammy, like a double combo, which is what they're going to do. They're going to spend 1, damage the supply depot, right? Then, but the cult leader cannot do it yet because he's not activated. So that's too bad. Yeah, so that doesn't really work unless I could damage the cannon and explode the cannon and then damage the supply depot, but that would be a status quo. That wouldn't really make much sense. So, I'm going to bring out the gunner for 1. Oh yeah, so, and then I'm also going to bring out the cult leader. So I'm just basically bringing out people, and that's all that I can do. I'm going to get rid of napalm actually. So to heal that cannon again. And because I flipped it over, because I restored it, it's not ready. So sadly, I can't fire it again. And I couldn't destroy it and then build it up again. So Zito Khan, for now, is not coming out, even though he's very nice. But I could get rid of him and place a punk somewhere. But I'm not going to do that. Or am I? Because he's so expensive, though. And I have no income of water. I'm going to get rid of him. And place a punk in front of the cult leader. Because I want the cult leader to survive. So I can destroy other people and then damage stuff. Alright. These 3 go away. This goes back as well. Back to that person. Alright, so the event goes 1 spot closer. Refill the 3 water, draw a card. Now they only have 1 card. So, because they spent everything else. They now have Rabble Rouser. So basically, it means they could spend 1 water to put them out, right? Spend another water to have a punk. And if there is a punk somewhere, they damage. Alright? So we still have these 2 as well. So if I activate the scout, it's a bit crazy. I could get rid of this, activate the raiders, so damage a camp, right? Spend 1 water, bring the raiders back. Spend another water, bring the raiders down. So it's pretty crazy. And problem is now there's no unprotected camp. So this one, I can't use its ability because they protected everything now. And they're going to be able to do a lot of damage next round. So I'm going to have to do something. If I activate the raiders, he'll just damage one of these 2. And yeah. Well, he has no cards left, so I know he can't refresh something. It's tricky, it's tricky. If I spend 2 here, I could damage a card. But even then, it wouldn't die. I can spend 2 water to draw 2 cards and discard 1 of them. I'm going to do that. I'm going to spend 2 cards to draw 2 cards. So this one is done. It's used. I have to discard 1. Discard 1 of these cards. So there's a sniper. 2 to hit any card. If you get discarded, I can heal, which is nice. Another holdout. So if I keep this, I can basically put all his camps on level 1. I'm going to keep the holdout. And then I'm going to junk both of them. So this one damages a camp and then immediately comes back out. So he has to damage a camp. He will do the victory totem because if he damages this cannon, he can still shoot. Then I have 1 water left. I'll activate the scout and this will come down again. Okay, so that's their turn. Everything goes back. Remember, when a camp is sideways, you can still use the ability. Back here, resolve the event. There's no events. Refill the 3 water, draw a card. This is the only card they're drawing. It is a wounded soldier. So I can get rid of it to damage 1. I can junk it. Or spend 1 water to play it. If the cards enters in play, I can draw another card and then damage this one. I will do that. I'll put it in play here, and then for 1 water, right? Then damage it, draw a card. It's a mutant. If I spend 1 water, I pick it out and then spend 0 water to damage or flip, then damage this card. It's really good as well. So, but if I spend my last 2 water on the gunner, I would injure both of them. If I spend 1 water here, I can destroy his supply depot. If I spend 0, okay, right. So I can destroy one of my people. I'll destroy the punk. Okay, it goes back on top because we don't know what's on the bottom. So, did this, right? Destroy one of your people, then damage. So his supply depot is destroyed. There we go. So I still have 2 water, all right? And the mutant that I drew. So I could damage both of them or damage one of them. I'm going to bring my mutant in play for 1 water and then use 1 water here to damage one of them, and that will be the scout. There you go. All right, so done. All this comes back. There were no other free actions, no. All right, these come back. This one goes back. All right, their turn. This activates, so this guy has to damage one of his camps. So it's like this. Then they replenish and draw 1 card, which is Famine. You can pay 1 water. Each player starting with you destroys all but one of their people. This is perfect. This is what they've been waiting for. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So we'll play it, you know, for 1 water, because you can just wipe everybody away. All right, so 1 water, okay. And aside from that, he still has 2 water. He could draw a card. He could use his railgun to fire and kill the wounded soldier. He could spend 1 water to activate the raiders and put it behind there again. Yeah, you spend 1 water to activate the raiders. Here. They go back there. And the other water, he'll get the water silo as a card. Yeah, okay. So that'll be his card now. At the end of the turn, up. Famine is crazy. Such a nice card. So the game can be very swingy. Also, you should know that of all these cards, except for the Zito Khan that you saw a while before, the special character one, there are 2 cards of each card that you see here. There's 2 of them in total, except for, like I said, the Zito Khan. The cards with the punk in the top left, there's only 1 of them in the deck, and there's like 6 of them in total. 6 different characters, 6 or 8, something like that. Anyway, 6, yeah. All right, so that's his turn done. Okay, now I move back to this turn. So this guy is wounded. He's not just going to heal. He needs to get a card like this and discard it to get him back on his feet. Okay, so he's pretty much, he still protects the garage, but he's useless aside from that. Okay, the events for this person, nothing. Refill to 3 cards. Refill to 3 cards, draw a card. Here we go. Magnus Carve. So it costs 3 to play. And then for 2 water, all cards in one of the opponent's columns take damage. Pretty good. Now I know this is coming, so I'm not going to use this. I'm just going to keep him there because I can't avoid it. So I'll leave him here, and then I'll see what I can do to maximize the stuff, because I have 3. Of course, I want to use as much as I can because they're all going to be gone. So I can use him to kill the scouts. That will cost 1. Or if I do 2, then the Pyromaniac and the Scout is gone. And there's going to be one person remaining, of course. So, first of all, I could use him. Destroy one of your people, then damage. So I'm going to destroy the wounded soldier. And then damage the Scout. So the Scout is also gone. So it leaves his garage wide open. So can I do 2 damage? I can sacrifice my cannon to get rid of his garage, and then he's in really bad shape. Or this is also free. Damage and flip, then damage this card. I'll do this. Damage the garage. It rhymes. Then flip a card. So I'll flip my cannon. Oh, but then I can't use it. I'll flip my victory totem. There you go. And then damage this card. Poof. So I still have 3 water left. It's pretty crazy. I am going to activate my Doomsayer for 1 damage. So this one's destroyed. And then this guy is still in the way, of course. Yeah, I'll spend 2 water to activate my... Oh no, I can't use it. Why? Because I healed it. I should have healed this one, but, you know, table sticks, whatever. So I still have 2 water. I could draw a card. I could activate him and damage the Pyromaniac. Yeah, I'm going to activate him. Which I should have also done it in a different order. But anyway, so up. So this guy has been used. This is discard. All right. So that's the end of my turn. There's nothing else I can do. I'm out of water. I could actually blow up my cannon to kill the Pyromaniac, but I don't see an advantage in that. So I'm not doing that. Okay, done. Everything comes back. Up, up. Done. And then the other person activates the event. So each player starting with you destroys all but one of their people. He only has one, so nothing happens. And then only one person can survive, and the person who will survive is the cult leader or the Doomsayer. They're both so good. Definitely the mutant, definitely the gunner. They're both gone. So Doomsayer or cult leader. I'll keep the cult leader. No, I'll keep the Doomsayer, because he's always going to have an event ready anyway. So that one is resolved. This one goes down. Okay. And this is still his card. So that has happened. Refill 3 water, draw a card. So he has a looter. If he gets rid of it, he gets a water. Now he doesn't have too much left. He has no way of activating this because those were destroyed. He has no way of healing. He could get rid of the looter to get a water. Spend 2 water to draw a card. You could spend 2 water to shoot and kill the reactor. And hope he survives next round. Okay, he'll bring out the looter as an extra defense for 1. And then using the wrong water. And then is he going to shoot or draw? He's going to shoot. He's going to use his railgun. And then this one's destroyed. You can see it's totally on fire. All right, so no need to keep the thing there now. All right. Actually, what does this do? Discard on all people. Actually, he's not going to destroy it. He's going to destroy the cannon because the cannon's too powerful. So the cannon's gone. All right, so that's the end of his turn because he doesn't have any free actions to do. Oh, he did have this He has one more water. But he doesn't want to use it now. Yeah, I'll just keep it. You can hold on to it. Okay, everything goes back. And this person, no events to activate. He draws a card. So now he has Magnus Carve. And another person, Argoyeski. All your people gain this card's ability above. So if there's a card here, for example, all the people get it, which is really good. When this card enters play, gain a punk. That's really good. All right, I'm gonna play him. Spend 3 for him. And put him underneath the Doomsayer. So now any other people I bring out would have his ability. So including him. And I gain a punk. To protect this one. Alright, and then I still have this one. Punks are people too. So punks would also have that then. Because in the rulebook it really says punks are people too. Anyway, I'm going to discard this one, get a punk, put it here. And then I'm going to quickly check, because from what I remember, it literally said punks are people too. Yeah, remember, punks are people too. So basically, all your people gain this card's ability above. So all these now have this ability. All right. Of course, they were now just placed, so they're not activated. This one I could have activated and done damage, but I didn't. I can't hit him because he is protecting him now. All right, that's the end of my turn. Basically, I was just gearing up for the next round. This guy activates his Dune Buggy, and he will then just damage the victory totem, of course. So his 2 that are now kind of damaged. He will get a card and 3 water. So he has High Ground. Rearrange your people. This turn all the opponent's cards are unprotected. First of all, I'm going to spend 2 to activate the looter, because this was stupid. I should have put one here to stop the looter's ability. But anyway, let's just call it on having to control 2 people. So it hits the camp. Camp is destroyed. Suddenly it's a draw at the moment. Camp is destroyed and they get to draw a card. So it's High Ground. Get rid for water, possibly. Rearrange your people, I said already. Now it's Truce. I could injure a person. Return all people to their owner's hands. Punks are people. Okay. So this little thing, I could just mess it up by immediately doing this. It costs 2 water. And it's a 0, so it happens immediately. So I'm going to get rid of my silo, right? Which gives me an extra water. So let's say I have 2. But I immediately spend it for this one, which means all the people, including mine, they all go back to their hands. And I've used everything. So I have no water at the moment. No water whatsoever. So this is used. This is used. There's a 4th one that's used, but whatever. These punks and these people all go back to his hand. But of course, I have these in my hand now, so I could keep on using them, which is powerful in itself. Basically, that person is going to win thanks to Truce, because now they will discard these 2 to get 2 water. Spend those 2 water on the railgun. Done. They win. So, as far as I know, this is how you play Radlands. I'm pretty sure this is how you play Radlands. I'm pretty sure this is how you play Radlands. I hope you enjoyed the playthrough and how to play. And yeah, be sure to tune in. I'm sure to play this against someone else. It'll probably be better then. Again, I don't have to do 2 hands, and the strategy will be of a higher level. But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I was Joachim, and this was So Many Games, So Little Time. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye.